Eventually they get through them, with no signs of having even done their duty to the people that day. And as they prepare to begin packing up, Ethan digs through his bag. Oh, hey, guys, I almost forgot. He pulls out a packet of papers and slaps them on the desk. What now, Ethan? We're done here. Patty bites through her clamped teeth, and the creature grumbles. Susan actually sits up, her eyes growing wide because she knows what it is. Arthur does too. He just slumps down slowly, readying himself. I actually have here a petition signed by 30,000 people denying local taxes going to pay for Whitaker Company, Garney, Brooksfield, and Titan, he says, smiling, nodding to Arthur. It's time. Patty squeezes her knees even more tightly together. Susan can hear them creaking. Arthur takes his glasses off as the creature above them swirls around, getting restless, suddenly intimidated by Susan and Arthur as well. In the periphery, unnoticed in the growing commotion of the once silently roaring room, Gregory Korfsky wiggles a shoulder as his head cocks slightly to one side. This is cute, Ethan. Making it a doorknob conversation? Dick says, using a psychological term from his days in the practice. Oh, beyond just that, I already made calls up the chain, and there's larger petitions that are being delivered and presented today across the country at all levels of counselors to require these companies to pay their fucking taxes, finally, Ethan says, hitting his fist against the desk on each of those final words and smiling really bright and wide, staring Dick down. Dick takes his glasses off quickly, nearly bending them over the side of his face. The creature lets out a call that careens like a dog whistle, but Ethan's skin can sense it. Declan shows his teeth. Fucking Christ, Pointer! We're not doing this! The walls rumble a bit. At this, Ethan stands up so abruptly the chair flies back and falls over. He springs over and along the crescent desk on planted hands, using it to maneuver around Gregory, and lands right between the feet of Dick, faster than Patty could slither to intercept him, who's now standing, realizing she's missed her chance. I think we are, Dick! I think right now we are fucking doing this! He squints his eyes and grins a foot from Dick's face, taking a tool from Art's belt. They stare off, and everyone is tense. Even Gregory is back in the room, blinking as if he's come out of a sleep, even rubbing his eyes and yawning while he takes in the situation and looks curiously at the two to his right. The edge of his mouth moves slightly up. The room gets quiet again. So silent this time. Even Susan and Arthur long in the back of their minds for the previous tension of static silence. But it's too late. And they refuse to sacrifice this young man, this tenaciously stubborn knight, to their own conditioning. Dick Dickless laughs a short chuff. Okay. What do you think is going to happen here, Ethan? Really? I strongly urge you to consider the ramifications of what you're proposing. Dragging out that word, giving it a new dimension supposed to fill Ethan with the chill of a winter wind, but the true north is blowing its gales through his being, overpowering this little air conditioner threat. His blood is a forest fire, and his heart is as big as the earth. So is his voice. Who is it, Dick? Who are you speaking for? Because I've had enough of this, day in and day out, week after week. You sit over here, you don't even read these papers. You pretend to take notes, you sit back like you're here, but you're no more present than Korfsky. Hell, Dickless, I've never met you once in my entire goddamn career. Your 6-year career? Get a hold of yourself, you little shit. You spineless excuse for a man! Ethan slaps his hands on Dick's knees and squeezes these words into him. Dick pushes back reflexively, gasping, and going white for a second. He shakes goosebumps from his spine and collides with Susan's chair behind him, which forces her to stand up onto her feet as he shouts. Patty starts to move, but Ethan stops her with just his eyes and his voice, backed by a hand pointing directly at her like a magnet, keeping her feet glued underneath her locked knees. Patty Steampunk, you don't fucking move that machine you call your body! The silver bullet loaded earlier fires and hits directly. Her werewolf claws are disintegrating. Her hull is filling with water, and she's busy trying to scoop it out with rusted buckets that haven't been used in decades. She's off-put. She stammers. She can't think of what to say. For the first time since Ethan won the votes to put him in that chair, he's watching Patty swallow her forked tongue. Gregory inhales and shifts his posture for the first time in years. A thought comes from within the part of his mind that is his body in the room. Interesting. So who is it, Dick? Sneering, not with hatred, but with the trapped collective irritation born from years of a neglected populace. Ethan's matching teeth for teeth, betting on who is the real alpha. Who writes the checks to pay for that car? Who writes the scripts you and Patty play out? You're gonna tell us, Dick? And you're gonna tell us the goddamn truth because Susie here will know if you're lying. He turns to check with her, and the laser light in her eyes is returning. She's smiling. She nods. Susan Ront is on board. The creature above them is weaving in and out of the people, trying to get a hold, breathing into Patty to revive her edge and help her plug the hole that the silver bullet torpedo made. But Ethan senses it and says out loud, "Somewhere off over the curvatures of memory a giant sleeps who is the thunder and lightning. And the dream of this giant is as vast as the wind, yet as tangible as the dirt. And wherever this dream seeds, those who breathe will see as the earth." And Patty sits down, and the tentacles retract, and the bull stains as the tips of his horns chip. "It's easy, Dick. I already know. I just want you to say it." Ethan's laughing. "And if you don't say it, then you're going to step down and resign, right now, because you're mentally and emotionally unfit to serve us any longer. If you can't be honest, you can't serve. There's a seal on that door out there that calls for truth and light, that calls for justice, that calls for service. We are paid by the people to care for and about them. And if you can't be those things, you can't do that. You can't pass through that threshold and sit on this crescent here and decide anything anymore. You think you can just say something and it is? You think the world just becomes what you want it to be? You think you can command me, you arrogant little fuck?" Dick growls through his gritted teeth. He's starting to rattle like an old truck picking up speed. "Shouldn't be too hard, Dick. You're used to following orders. You're a living Pavlovian suggestion. I bet it's been years since you've breathed real conviction. And I do believe I can just say, and it is, because I'm speaking from beyond me, little buddy." He squints at him again, and Dick rattles more at this insult. "You've set the tone, haven't you? Dick Dickless pounds his little gavel and etches his little pen across the page, and there it is. People get the crumbs. And for what, Dick? Prestige? Protection? A promise that won't ever get fulfilled by people who don't even know what a promise is except for a leverage point in a chess game? Because of this?" He takes out a $20 bill and sets it on fire. "This is just paper, Dick. This is nothing. It only means what's behind it. And we aren't any different, Dickless. People are no better than what's behind them, than what they stand for, what they're supporting or guarding or protecting. Because beyond that, we're just a shifting holographic cloud. What we stand on is what gives us tangibility. And I stand on the shoulders of those who've come before me, and up here I see beyond the horizon." Stepping back and addressing the room. "And over the horizon I see a stampede. A dust cloud gathering strength coming like a fucking tsunami. Do you know what it is?" He turns to Arthur, who's growing rosy again. "It's the kids who aren't born yet. It's the people we're borrowing the earth from. It's our true leaders and bosses. It's the people we're going to have to look in the eye and ask forgiveness from. It's the people who are going to have to give us mercy or judge us how they see fit. And in our old age, we will be subject to their grace or condemnation. And we will have no say in the matter because at that point we won't deserve one or we won't need one." Susan starts laughing and clapping as the tentacle dislodges from her back. The cloud gets angrier. "What you got for us, Susan? Hop on in." Outstretching his arms and walking back to give her room. "I can't do this anymore. I can't play along, regardless of the outcome, because nothing that could be done could be worse than what will happen if nothing is done." Hell yes! Susan Ront, ladies and gentlemen. Back in action. Hit us with it, please. The creature on the ceiling shivers as she removes her glasses. Ethan grins at her and nods. Glasses off? Well, then here we go.